There we go, everyone. Thanks for joining me. I do have a very special guest today. I'm excited to bring him in, but first, as a reminder, I'm Rob Tatro from robtatro.com, portfolio manager here at Canaccord Genuity Wealth Management and at the Tatro Wealth Advisory Group. Really excited with our guest. I'm going to bring him in right away here. None other than, I call him KV, but Kevin Vandermeer. He's a CFA. He's a fellow of the Canadian Securities Institute. He's also Managing Director, Investments and Advisory Solutions at Canaccord Genuity Wealth Management. Kevin, thank you so much for joining us and welcome.
Thank you for having me, Rob. And it's great
to
be this is my
Yes, I did pull this chart up here for you.
Yeah. This chart is exactly like the one, or this chart is the brother of the one before. So this is the S&P 500, the U.S. market, and here we're showing you Canada. So you might have said, hey, Kevin, thanks for that, kind of analysis on the U.S. market, but can you show me what Canada looks like? And so here we're showing you Canada. The underlying message is essentially the same. We didn't have as a robust data set as we did in the U.S., so we're only going back to 83, but you can see that on the whole, markets are positive, and here we're looking out kind of 6 to 9 months out. And the general direction would be positive. So again, messages, even when you come off of a bottom, even though you might feel like you've missed it, and it's pulled back, history would show you that 6 to 9 months from now, we're probably going to be higher.
Yep, I would agree with you there. The next chart here that I'm going to pull up is actually the chart that shows the average numbers. I'll pull that one up for you.
Sure. So this is essentially the same analysis, but instead of pictures, we're showing you in numbers. So people say, okay, great, Kevin, thanks for that. The market's up, last 50 days or so, up 20%. What can we expect in the next month or so? And actually, when we did this work, the market was really only up. It was kind of up 20 or so percent. But this is really kind of trying to quantify it a little bit more. So instead of pictures, you're sort of saying, hey, what can I expect? And so we've laid out for you in hard numbers here, kind of 7 scenarios when the markets come in the last 50 days, really strong off the bottom, and then said, okay, what happens in the next, kind of 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, and 12 months out, and you can see that the market is markedly higher. So, if people ask me, what do I think the market's going to be up in the next year? I'm conservative, so I'll tell you 7%, but the data actually says the market will be up 13%. And we've tried to pick scenarios that are as close to what we've just experienced.
Even though there isn't really anyone, right? And there's never really been that 50-day.
Yeah. But people would say, well, the market's gone up a lot. I've missed it. I'm in cash. I don't want to go in the market. And what we would say is, well, if you're data-driven, if you're systematic, if you're being objective and taking emotion out of it, as hard as it might be, this is the hard data that would suggest the market can still go up.
The next question that you probably get asked, and I get asked all the time, and I like this slide. In fact, I saw an article today on BNN saying that, Porter was still not ready to start their flights up. When are we going to normalize? When is normalizing happening, Kevin?
Yeah, so I really like this chart. I found this chart and I sent it out to our advisors, and I thought one of the interesting things is, obviously, we all know that air travel is highly discretionary. The fact that I'm talking to you on a video conference rather than sitting beside Rob in his office in Winnipeg, or the fact that I haven't traveled in 3 months, and none of us are going to Europe or anything for any kind of a family holiday or anything like that, is because we're not allowed, but 2, in the middle of this pandemic. And so people will say, well, when am I going to be able to travel again? And businesses across the country their salespeople aren't traveling; they're doing sales conferences and reaching out to people by Zoom and other forms of media. So this chart was really sort of highlighting the fact that it could take a year. So think about a year from now for the world to kind of get back to normal, or whatever that new normal might be. And a lot of people will say, well, the world, the world has forever changed. And I would say, actually, I'm not really sure the world is going to change that much. I was in New York for 9/11, and I remember feeling kind of the full force of that event and thinking, that the world really had changed. I took the Greyhound bus home from New York to Toronto. Didn't travel much for a long period of time. You remember all of the security checks that we needed to go through to go to, simple things like a sporting events. Do you remember? And we had here in Toronto, they changed out all the garbage bags so you could see clearly that there was nothing being hidden in any kind of bags. But fast forward 10, 12, 15 years, world was pretty much back to normal. You had kind of curbside check-in for airlines. There were more people traveling by air than there was pre 9/11. And so as much as we're sitting here thinking that the world's going to forever be different, I would argue that probably in a year from now, we'll be kind of much back to our normal self. The only thing that I can really think of that's kind of a carryover from 9/11 is security checks. It seems like that whole security's beefed up a lot more, but I don't get on a plane anymore like I did for 3 years after 9/11 and sort of look around me and look at everybody around me anymore. It doesn't even enter my mind that there could be an event on a plane. So with this chart, I really like kind of guiding people to how we might get back to normal and when.
So 1 year from now, 2.5 million travelers. That's what you're thinking?
I think so.
I like predictions.
And
I like
today,
predictions.
I mean, the idea was today that, and I'm sure everyone's seen it, but there was social distancing for a while on Air Canada and WestJet, and today they sort of dropped that. They're going to pack us all in there nice and tight, and it'll be kind of up to you whether you want to get on the plane and sit right beside your neighbor and take that risk. So, again, we're kind of tracking that line. I'm not sure I'm quite ready to get on a plane yet and sit really close to somebody, but the airlines are certainly ready for you to do that.
For me, KV, I've not traveled since either late Feb or early March, and it's been awesome. Like, it's been great just home and not having to worry and being able to do these calls by Zoom and stuff. And I'm also not in a hurry to travel. I know I'm going to travel at some point. It's going to happen, but it's been great. I've been loving the time at home and enjoying my wonderful province. And if you don't know Manitoba, just a great province in the summer. Have you ever been out here in the summer, KV?
I haven't, but I should. Maybe I should drive out this year.
Wow, the drive through Sault Ste. Marie and Dryden and Thunder Bay and Kenora is a little long, 21 hours, I think, something like that. But at some point you'll hang out here, and at some point we'll fly, and it'll be back to normal. I would agree with you. I wonder if guys like me and guys like you, and guys who travel quite a bit for business, are going to be taking, 1 out of every 2 trips instead of you don't fly for that 1-day meeting anymore, right? Maybe you just do it from Zoom. I don't know. I'm certainly not an expert in that.